So on Sunday, the 8th of May, we made a really exciting announcement at St Paul's Knightsbridge, and that is that Gillian Straine, the Reverend Dr. Gillian Straine, is joining our parish as an associate clergy person and as a member of the clergy team. And that's a big step for the parish and a really exciting one. It's exciting for two reasons, partly because we'll see Gillian on Sundays and she'll be involved in our worshipping life, but also because for some time we've been thinking about how do we reverse the flow in thinking about our parish life. It's so easy to think about people flowing into church and serving their needs in fine worship and so on. But we've been thinking quite intentionally about missional work, so the other flow. What does the church mean for the community along? And Gillian is a really exciting appointment because she brings with her a real wealth of experience and knowledge about the worlds of well-being and health. And it's great to have a chance this morning just to have a bit of a conversation with Gillian so that we get to know a little bit about who she is.
Well, first of all, I'm really excited about being appointed and to joining the team. Well, I used to be a Scottish Presbyterian. I'm still Scottish and I'm no longer a Presbyterian. I'm the CEO of a charity called the Guild of Health in St Raphael. I trained for the priesthood at Cuddesdon, which is one of the theological colleges in Oxford. I did a PhD in physics at Imperial College in London. And while I was there doing that, I worshipped at St Paul's Knightsbridge. So my interests are around science and religion. I'm really passionate about seeing where they overlap. I am a cancer survivor. Between my degree and my PhD, I was diagnosed with advanced cancer. So I've had a long interest in health and in what is healing. So when the job running this thing called the Guild of Health in St Raphael came along, I had this moment. I thought, this is it. This is my job. It combines pastoral ministry and being in the parish. It combines science and religion because we engage with public health, and it engaged in healing as well, which is something with my background in cancer, I've got a huge interest in as well, and especially how the faith, how our spiritual lives can be part of our ongoing health and healing and how we live. I live in Lichfield, just north of Birmingham, with my husband and 2 young kids.
What's the sort of expectation that we have about how often we'll see you on a Sunday and how often you'll be part of our worshiping life?
A few Sundays a year, a good midweek commitment as well, particularly around health and well-being. And there's something really interesting about being that person who drops in and out, because I feel that sometimes people tell me things they wouldn't necessarily share with their team because I'm only there for a bit.
At St Paul's Knightsbridge, priesthood has traditionally looked very, I suppose, pale and male, hopefully not too stale. You are going to represent something very different as you join us as a priest.
Yeah, and so I was brought up in the Church of Scotland by one of the first women ministers, Reverend Jean Montgomery. She's still around. I'm still in contact with her. So you know what? I don't think I met a male priest until I was into my 20s. I mean, I've probably seen them on TV, but I don't come with some of the battle wounds of having to make a place. It's not what I focus on in terms of my ministry. So I don't think of myself as a woman priest. I think of myself as a priest. For me, being a priest is about offering the persona and the love and the forgiveness of Jesus Christ to the people I meet, but with humility, knowing that, I'm going to make mistakes like the rest of us. So when I meet opposition to women, I try to open a conversation about it. I don't put up with misogyny or any kind of discrimination. I think right now there's urgent stuff around the church, around the faith, around what we can do to make the world a better place.
Unless the church looks different, it won't be different. So one of the thrilling things about a more diverse ministry team at St Paul's, which of course it already is with Luigi joining us as an Italian. I mean, that's shaken us to the absolute core of our being. The fact that you were our first female subdeacon at the High Altar 20 years ago.
20 years? I don't feel we've changed a bit.
No, we just have a few more battle wounds. But I think it's really exciting to have you back now as the first woman to join us at the High Altar on a Sunday. And I think one of the things that people will quickly notice is that they no longer have just one Scotsman on the staff team. There are 2 Scottish people, because you are from Aberdeen and I am from Aberdeen. We both grew up as Presbyterians. What that shift from a sort of more Protestant Presbyterian background into a more Anglo-Catholic high church world has been about.
The high doctrine of good sermons, seriousness about theology. The church I was in had a huge focus on village life, community life. I was the kid who always volunteered to help at the baking sales. I was there on a Saturday morning for whatever was going on. I was diagnosed with Hodgkin's lymphoma, which is a cancer of the lymphatic system. Just after I finished my degree, I went back home to Aberdeen to get treated and went through some really tough chemotherapy. When I returned to London after being ill, I went to the chaplaincy of Imperial College, and then through that met Alan. And then through Alan, discovered really for the first time the beauty of Anglo-Catholic worship at St. Paul's Knightsbridge, as it happened. The experience of morning prayer on a daily basis with breakfast afterwards on a Tuesday, if I remember. And the beauty of the high mass and the music and the smells and the bells, it's a full sensory experience that spoke of God outside of words and your head. And there was something in the beauty of the worship, the stuff that was beyond words, that started my proper healing journey. So I think I was cured by medicine, but I was healed through the faith. So what I've left behind from Presbyterianism, I think, was sort of that starkness, the stripped awayness of the church, a Presbyterian work ethic, salvation by works alone. And what I discovered in St. Paul's Knightsbridge and in the Anglo-Catholic tradition more broadly was the healing power of all the different aspects of worship and a more nuanced theology that accompanies through all the ups and downs of life, particularly around sin and illness.
So Gillian, we met at Imperial College and you were in the Department of Physics. What it was like to be a person of faith and a member of the chaplaincy in such a science-led university?
Actually, the chaplaincy at Imperial was a place of friendship. The challenge around science and religion came after Imperial. When it comes to science-religion debate, I think there's one wrong answer. So the wrong answer is that they're in conflict. They've always been in conflict. As a person of faith, you can engage with science. You might want to keep them apart and say science is for this, for studying the world, faith is for that. That's for looking to how to live in the world. Or you might want to bring them slightly closer and say, well, let's put them into conversation. Faith says that the world was created by God. Science talks about evolution. What happens when we put them together and have a conversation? Or you can go to full integration and say, it's the same process of human beings trying to figure out how to be alive on planet Earth. And so I'm fascinated by human consciousness, quantum mechanics, evolution is another important one as well, cosmology and Big Bang. So looking at the big headline topics in science and seeing as a person of faith how you might want to discuss them. What actually matters is our personal experience of the world.
Is that we have become in the last few months a healthy healing hub. Could you say just a little bit about what that project is seeking to achieve nationally and what that might mean at St. Paul's?
Guild of Health in St. Raphael has been for over 100 years connecting faith and health, particularly through helping churches to talk about the healing ministry. In all four Gospels, Jesus says, make disciples and heal. In the last few years, where the emphasis really has been on making disciples, and we've forgotten that other bit of Jesus' command, which was to heal. This project deeply connects this idea that when you offer health and healing in the community, you will be an attractive place. People will come because of the care. What Christians do is offer care and love. Our hospital system began in medieval monasteries, and this project has emerged to boost churches' confidence to do that well. But when people face serious suffering, serious illness, life-changing illness or injuries, they massively impact who we are. There's different types of suffering. You have physical suffering, you can have social suffering, and you can have psychological suffering. And those kind of intense experiences can leave a trace upon one's soul. And that is the type of wounds that the Christian faith is particularly good at healing. And so on, we can boost confidence, but also networking churches together so that places can learn good practice from other places and they can share.
There's another project that is in the offing, a science-led exploration of the impact of liturgy and worship on a sense of well-being.
To explore the well-being impact of music. For me, this is an exciting project because it's interdisciplinary. It's involving Anglo-Catholic worship and music. It will involve our understanding of our brains and consciousness. It'll understand our well-being processes in the body as well. And is part of a small raft of projects right now, which is trying to experimentally measure why going to church is good for you. let's use the gifts you have around music at St Paul's Knightsbridge to measure and learn how it can be healing.
It's quite a change, isn't it, that shift from the idea it's good to go to church to it might be good for you to go to church. Gillian, just really thrilled. There's an opportunity to hear you preach on Sunday the 15th of May. I think the following day we're all going to the Old Deanery to see the Bishop of London, who will do all the legal stuff about formally making you a member of the parish team. And therefore, thereafter, I think we just really look forward to your being among us and sharing in our life. I can't tell you how thrilled I am. So thank you for your time and really look forward to working with you.
Thank you. It was lovely to chat, and I'm thrilled to be joining the team at St Paul's Knightsbridge and all that we are going to do together.